Good morning, folks. Um, this is a tutorial on how to install Adapt framework in Linux. In fact, we will be installing the Adapt authoring tool in Linux. There are a lot of guides available for Windows and even one for CentOS. But really, virtually, there are no working guides available for an Ubuntu install. Ubuntu is something that we use as a common server, so I guess we better need a clear instructional video for that. So here is me doing that. Now I'm going to follow the same installation instructions given in the Adapt authoring Git page. We're just going to do a couple of extra steps so that we are not running into any errors like I have been doing in my initial installations. I was always coming into errors with the adapt command line interface installation. And now we'll basically follow the same steps, but like I said, a couple of extra steps to make sure that we are getting a clean install. So let's start the install. Now I'm going to do this in the Google Cloud platform. If you're doing this in a local server, it will just work as it will just work in a similar way. I don't see any differences that you may have to face in the installation steps. So this is a fresh virtual machine with Ubuntu 14.04 LTS, which I've just booted up. Now, when you have a fresh install of Ubuntu, what you do first is upgrade. Let's upgrade the system first. That's done. Now I have the installation steps recorded in a notepad so that I don't have to type the commands. Trust me, the commands are quite long. So um, I'll be copying the commands from this notepad and pasting in the SSH window. Let's now that our Linux is upgraded, we will start with the actual installation. The first step is installing MongoDB. We'll first install the public key in the package management system. Create a list file for the package database. Now that's done, we can do a apt-get update. We are going to do this quite often in the install. Now install the actual MongoDB server. Now that's done. Let's start up the server. Yeah, the server is running. Now what we need is Git. We need to get Git installed in the system. We have installed Git. Now we need to configure it with a username and email. I'm going to use the username as my name and the email as a dummy mail. There is no email with uh, this address. It's just a dummy email. Yeah, we are through with Git. Now we will move on to Node.js. We are not going to install Node.js using the nvm method. What I saw in my initial installs was that the nvm method eventually ends up in a lot of errors when you're installing adapt. So we are going to install it using PPA. You're ready to install Node.js now. Yep. Node.js is installed. Let's go ahead and confirm the version. We are looking for a version which is above 4. So we're good. And the npm is also looking good. So now now we need to install ffmpeg. ffmpeg is also a requirement. We are again going to use install it using the PPA method. Now we'll go ahead with the plugins. It's done. The next step is grunt. We need to get grunt installed. Grunt again is a command line interface, so we'll install it using an npm method. That's done. Let's confirm the version. You're good. Now we need to start the adapt installation, but we have to do an additional step here because this is where most of the installs go wrong. We need to install something called a secure sockets layer toolkit, especially if you are installing adapt in a cloud environment. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. We also need to install the toolchain using PPA. This is again not mentioned in the adapt instructions page, but this again is an extra step that I'm doing so that we are not getting into any error through the install. Yeah, now we will do a dist upgrade. Now we are finally ready to install adapt command line interface. Let's go ahead and install it. Yeah, we're through with the installation without any errors. Let's go ahead and check the version. Yeah. Now we need to download the adapt ordering project from Git. Let's clone it. That's done. Now if you do an ls, you can see that that ordering project is been downloaded to our system. Now we will move into the adapt ordering folder. We can start the installation process of the tool here. Now we will do a node install. Yes. Now if everything goes well, uh, the script will create a configuration file. We'll be prompted to accept the default values or enter any new values. We can go ahead and accept the default values. Here you go. I'm going to keep on pressing enter to accept the default values. We have ffmpeg, so I'm going to press Y. Now we have been prompted to enter the email address. This you can use your own email address. Here I'm going to use again a dummy email. This is what we use for logging into Adapt. Enter a password as well. Here you go. This completes the installation. Now we can start the application using the command node server. I'll just go ahead and confirm if we have not missed any step. Yeah, Git, Node.js, MongoDB, ffmpeg. Yes, we're through with all the steps. Let's go ahead and see if we are able to start the application. Oops, we have an error. It's a permission error. This we can use a sudo in front of the command and it should work fine. Here you go. Our application has successfully started in the port that we specified, that is 5000. Now we can access the application using the external IP of our server followed by the port. Now, like I said, I am using a Google Cloud Platform. So I have my external IP in my console window. I'm going to copy this. Paste it here. Add my port number here. There you go. Yeah, the adapt authoring tool has launched as expected. Now we will use the email address and the password that we have set at the configuration phase to enter the application. Yeah, here you go. You are able to log in and create courses. Well, we have, I would say we have had a clean install. We did came into an error towards the later part of the install, but we were able to overcome it using the sudo command. So I hope that the tutorial has been helpful. Thank you. You have a good day.